When it comes to the NFL playoffs, there's one name that stands above the rest: Patrick Mahomes. Let me ask you this. If your team's season was on the line and you could pick any quarterback to lead a game-winning drive, who would it be? Yeah, that's what I thought. It's hard to argue against Mahomes. He's the kind of player who makes the impossible look routine. Remember that 13 seconds moment? Down by 3 against the Bills in the playoffs, and he marched the Chiefs into field goal range. Like it was a casual Sunday stroll. That's not just skill. That's what legends are made of, and Mahomes is already stacking his legacy with 3 Lombardi trophies sitting on his shelf. It's not just about his talent, it's his mindset. Pressure seems to fuel him rather than slow him down. When most quarterbacks might crumble, Mahomes thrives. He doesn't just play the game. He rewrites it in real time. Let's make it personal. In the comments, I want you to answer this. Do you think Mahomes is already the greatest playoff QB of all time, or does he still have more to prove? Let's settle this debate. Now, don't get me wrong. Mahomes might be in a league of his own, but it's not like the other playoff quarterbacks are pushovers. There are a few names that come close to his level quarterbacks who can take a team deep into January. And that's where we'll go next. Who are the contenders lurking just beneath Mahomes? Let's talk about them. Alright, if Mahomes is in a league of his own, who's next in line? Let's talk about the quarterbacks sitting just below him, the ones who still give you plenty of hope heading into the playoffs. These guys aren't just placeholders, they're legit contenders who can take their teams all the way if everything clicks. First up, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. These two have been MVP frontrunners and have already proven they can thrive under pressure. Sure, some people question their consistency in the postseason, but let's be real, both have taken their teams to the AFC Championship before. That's no small feat. If Allen or Jackson were leading your team, you'd feel pretty good about your chances, wouldn't you? Then there's Jalen Hurts. He's got something that Allen and Jackson don't: a Super Bowl appearance. Even though the Eagles' season has been a little messy off the field, Hurts has the tools and the mindset to make another deep run. Wouldn't you agree that his dual threat ability makes him one of the most dangerous QBs in the league? How about Matthew Stafford? Some people might overlook him, but let's not forget he's won a Super Bowl. He's been on fire recently, throwing 11 touchdowns and only 1 interception in his last 7 games. If Stafford keeps that momentum, the Rams could surprise a lot of people. And rounding out this group is Jared Goff. I know what you're thinking, Goff, really? But hear me out, he's been to a Super Bowl before and is running the show for one of the league's most explosive offenses in Detroit. Goff might not steal the spotlight, but he's more than capable of keeping his team's playoff hopes alive. Now it's your turn. Out of Allen, Jackson, Hurts, Stafford, and Goff, who do you trust the most to deliver in the playoffs? Drop your pick in the comments or vote in the poll. But here's the thing, not every quarterback inspires this kind of confidence. Some are right on the edge, waiting for their moment to prove themselves. Let's break that down next. Now, let's talk about the quarterbacks who are right on the edge, the ones who could take that next big step or leave you biting your nails every game. These guys have talent, no doubt, but there's just a little something missing that keeps them from the top tier. Take CJ Stroud, for example. What a rookie season he's had. Leading the Texans to the playoffs is no small feat, and he even snagged a playoff win. But here's the catch, he's only 1-5 against winning teams this year. That's a stat that raises eyebrows, don't you think? Then there's Justin Herbert. The guy has a cannon for an arm, but let's not forget that brutal collapse against the Jaguars in 2022. He's phenomenal against weaker teams, but his record against winning teams March 5th has people wondering if he can truly step up when it matters most. What do you think? Is this the year Herbert silences the doubters? Baker Mayfield is another wild card. He's got the confidence and the swagger, but let's be real, he's more of a piece to the Buccaneers' puzzle than the guy carrying the load. Tampa Bay's success hinges on their playmakers stepping up. Can Mayfield be the guy who finally puts it all together? Now, let's talk about Sam Darnold and Jordan Love. Darnold's resurgence with the Vikings is one of the season's best stories, but he's an unknown in the playoffs. And Love, he's shown flashes, but hasn't quite proven he can handle the big moments consistently. Finally, there's Russell Wilson. Yes, he's a former Super Bowl champion, but this isn't the same Russ we saw in Seattle. Can you really trust him to lead the Steelers when the offense has struggled to hit 20 points lately? Here's a question for you. Which of these QBs do you think will step up and make a statement in these playoffs? Or will they all stay stuck in the middle? Let's hear your take in the comments. Next, we're diving into the rookies' pure wild cards in this year's playoff mix. Now, let's talk about the wild cards of this year's playoffs. The rookies, these are the quarterbacks who could either shock the world or crumble under the bright lights. When it comes to rookies, one thing is certain: you never know what you're going to get. Let's start with Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix. These two have been phenomenal in their first year, guiding their teams into the postseason, which is already a rare accomplishment. But here's the thing, only 3 rookie quarterbacks in NFL history have ever won a road playoff game. That's the uphill battle both Daniels and Nix are facing. What's working in their favor? Experience. Not an NFL experience, of course, but both played a ton of games in college at high levels and in hostile environments. Think about it, how many times have you seen a college quarterback go into an electric stadium and come out on top? Daniels and Nix have been through the fire, and that could help them stay composed under playoff pressure. But let's not sugarcoat it. History isn't on their side. No rookie quarterback has ever led their team to a Super Bowl. So here's the big question. Do you think Daniels or Nix can break that trend and make history this year? Or is it too soon to expect that kind of performance? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Even if their ceiling seems limited this postseason, it's hard not to get excited about their futures. These two could easily become playoff regulars in the years to come. For now, though, they're the definition of a gamble, high risk, high reward. Next, we'll turn our attention to what separates the greats from the rest. It's not just talent, it's the ability to deliver in those clutch moments. Let's talk about what that looks like. When it comes down to it, playoffs aren't just about skill, they're about delivering in the clutch. This is where quarterbacks earn their legacy. It's not about stats or highlight reels. It's about what you do when the game is on the line. Think back to some of the most iconic moments in NFL playoff history. Who do you think of? Guys like Patrick, Mahomes, Tom Brady, or Joe Montana, right? It's because they've delivered when it mattered most. Whether it's a game-winning drive, a 2-minute drill, or a miraculous comeback, these moments separate the greats from everyone else. Now, let's bring it back to this year's playoff crop. Who do you trust when the pressure is at its peak? If there are 30 seconds on the clock, no timeouts, and you need a field goal to win, who do you want under center? Mahomes obviously is the easy answer, but what about the others? Do you trust Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts to pull it off? And then there are the guys with question marks. Can Justin Herbert erase the memory of that playoff collapse? Can CJ Stroud prove that push under pressure isn't just for veterans? These are the storylines that make the playoffs so exciting. Let's make this interactive. If you could pick one current playoff quarterback to lead a game-winning drive, who would it be? And why? Share your thoughts in the comments, and let's see which QB gets the most votes. These moments don't just define players, they define teams. A single play can be the difference between going home and hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. And that's why we love this game, isn't it? But we're not done yet. In the final chapter, we'll look at the bigger picture, what this year's playoff quarterback field says about the future of the NFL. Stay tuned.